The ocean had always been unpredictable, but that morning it felt strangely restless, as if carrying a message meant only for the man standing alone on the rocky shore. Iris Hale, a 34-year-old single father with tired eyes and a quiet strength, scanned rolling waves with the instinct of someone who'd seen both beauty and danger in their depths. His son, little Rowan, was building a sandcastle not far behind him, unaware of the looming urgency in the air. The sun was high, the daylight shimmering on the restless water, yet something felt wrong, terribly wrong, just seconds before Aris spotted what looked like a pale hand breaking the surface far too close to the jagged reef. For a moment the world stilled, then the hand vanished beneath the waves as if swallowed whole. Aris didn't think. He just ran, diving into the churning sea with the desperate speed of a man who refused to let the worst happen in front of his child. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and humanity's hidden miracles, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Chronicles to help stories like this reach more hearts. Aris fought the waves, pushing against the powerful pull of the ocean until he reached the faint shape sinking below. When he grabbed her, he felt the shocking limpness of someone barely holding on. Salt burned his eyes as he kicked toward the shore, dreading the woman to safety with every ounce of strength left in him. When they finally reached the wet sand, Rowan came running, eyes wide and frightened, as Aris positioned the stranger gently on her side. Her breathing was faint, irregular, and her face, though pale and soaked, held a kind of striking elegance, like someone carved from calm sunrise light. But to Aris, at that moment, she was just a human life he couldn't afford to lose. He pressed his ear to her chest, relieved when he heard a faint heartbeat, and stayed by her side until the lifeguards arrived minutes later and carried her to the hospital. He had no idea who she was, no idea how that rescue would alter the entire direction of his life, only that he had acted on instinct and hoped the stranger would survive. The woman's name was Ilara Winslow, but Aris learned this only later, long after the ambulance had left. That afternoon he returned home with Rowan, exhausted but unsettled, replaying the rescue in his mind again and again. Being a single father had hardened him in some ways and softened him in others. He knew the fragility of life better than most. After losing Rowan's mother in a car accident 4 years earlier, Aris lived in a world where every breath mattered, where every moment with his son felt borrowed and precious. He hadn't planned on becoming a father alone, nor had he planned on losing so much of himself in the process. But he had a quiet resilience that kept him moving forward, even when loneliness gnawed at his spirit. He worked long hours repairing fishing boats for local owners, taking whatever jobs came his way to keep a roof over their heads. Money was always tight, happiness felt distant. Yet he kept going because he had Rowan, and Rowan had him, and that was enough. Except sometimes, late at night, Aris wondered if life would ever give him another chance at something like hope. He wasn't searching for love, he wasn't searching for anything really. He simply wanted peace, stability, and for his son to grow up knowing that, even in a world full of storms, there were moments worth holding on to. The next day, still thinking about the woman he had dragged from the water, Aris took Rowan to the beach again. This time the sea was calmer, its bright turquoise glow flickering beneath the midday sun. He didn't expect to see her again, and yet as they approached the shoreline, he spotted a familiar figure seated under the shade of a pale blue umbrella. She was dressed simply in light day wear, an airy white blouse and soft linen pants with a lightweight scarf shielding her neck from the bright sun. Her hair, a deep copper brown, was tied back loosely, and her delicate features still held a faint exhaustion, but also warmth, gratitude, and something unspoken. She looked up when she saw him, her green eyes lighting instantly with recognition. Aris froze for a moment. He hadn't expected gratitude, let alone the calm, almost serene smile she offered. When she approached him with slow, steady steps, Rowan clung to his leg shyly, studying the stranger curiously. Ilara introduced herself quietly, explaining that the hospital staff had told her a man named Aris had saved her life. She said she had returned to the beach hoping to find him, not realizing she would feel genuinely emotional upon seeing him and his child. Aris felt strangely self-conscious under her gaze, not understanding why. A woman with such grace and poise seemed nervous as she thanked him. He brushed off her gratitude with humble honesty, saying no one would have ignored a person drowning right in front of them. But Ilara insisted on expressing how profoundly his actions had touched her, not just because he saved her life, but because someone with a soft, unwavering heart still existed in a world that often felt cold. There was something curious about her that he couldn't quite place, something quiet and sad beneath the surface, like she was carrying a burden too heavy for someone who appeared so composed. She asked to spend time with Rowan, and the little boy eventually warmed up, showing her his half-finished sandcastle. Iris watched quietly as Alara knelt beside his son, helping him shape towers and smooth edges with gentle care. For a brief moment, the scene felt surreal, sunlight reflecting off the waves, gulls circling above, and a stranger who didn't feel like a stranger at all helping his son create something beautiful. Months later, standing on the same beach where everything began, the waves gentle, the daylight soft, Iris realized how profoundly his life had changed. He had saved a stranger only to discover she would save him just as deeply. He found not only companionship but a second chance at love, healing, and family. If this story touched your heart, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Chronicles so more people can discover stories of hope, resilience, and unexpected love. Special request: comment "Hope lives here" if you made it to the end. And so, beneath the vast sunshine and endless horizon, the single dad who once believed life had nothing left to offer found love in the most unexpected place. The waves that nearly took someone away instead delivered the person who would transform his world forever.